Previously on the Senna career.
And it is 5 lights and away we go for the Belgian Grand Prix. Senna getting bogged down off the start line as he has so many times this season. Hamilton still harvesting ERS as Senna goes down the inside and into the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix. And, there's a safety car deployed. But Hamilton's in fact come down the inside of Senna. And, I've completely missed that move. I do apologise. And in that very, very quick Williams, looks as if he's gonna get past Izzy. Yes, he's outbroken Senna, would you believe it? And although Senna doesn't run too deep, Bottas was just a little bit more confident on the brakes. It's still P3 and another podium for Senna. Third for him, fourth for Button, which is 27 points in the bag for the McLaren team. What's up guys, and welcome to the F1 2014 Senna career. It is part number 8 and it's the Italian Grand Prix. I apologise for the huge gap between episodes guys, but I've just haven't had my PC available to make these videos, but it is back, and if we could hit 130 likes for its return, that would be awesome. But without further ado, let's get into qualifying. So qualifying was here for the Italian Grand Prix, and getting into Q1 it was sunny for this first session, and it was Fernando Alonso in front of the Tifosi who made the first mistake of the weekend, dipping it in the gravel, and he was out of Q1 at the first hurdle. He'll be starting from the back, but Senna had no such troubles. He breezed into Q2. And as you can see here, he actually put a banker lap in on the prime tyres before going out on the option tyres. That got him safely through, but there you can see the eliminated drivers. It was Esteban Gutierrez who's going to be joining the stricken Fernando Alonso at the back of the grid, along with the usual suspects, with Kimi Räikkönen, Alonso's teammate, only managing 11th in Q2, and Daniel Kvyat put in a strong performance for the Toro Rosso team, but he could only manage P12. And Sergio Perez was the main benefiter of those two's misfortunes. He crept into Q3 in 10th position. And as you can see here, we're on board with Senna. And going through the first sector, he managed to, he was 5 tenths up and then managed to get P4. And that got him safely through into Q3. And there you can see the eliminated drivers with Raikkonen just missing out. But now this is the moment you've all been waiting for. It's Q3. The sun is still shining. And there you can see Nico Rosberg about to come across the line. And it is P1 for the German. So he takes provisional pole. What can his teammate do? Lewis Hamilton, only P2 for him. And, it looks as if it's Rosberg who's got the upper hand this weekend. And all that means that Sebastian Vettel has been pushed down to P3. He was on provisional pole. And now it's time for Senna, who's put in a banker lap but could only manage 9th place. Now you can see he's already 3 tenths down on Nico Rosberg's pole time. So he's losing a lot of time in that first sector. What can he do through sector 2 now? He's nearly 3 tenths down once again. And coming across the line, what can Senna do? It's only 7th place. And it is Nico Rosberg who is on pole position for tomorrow's Grand Prix, alongside Lewis Hamilton on the front row. Once again, it's Felipe Massa, the best of the rest, alongside Daniel Ricciardo on row 2. There you can see Senna in 7th and his teammate Button in 9th. A disappointing qualifying session for both of the McLaren drivers, but the weekend is far from over. And let's see what the McLaren guys can do in the race. It's time for the Italian Grand Prix.
We're expecting a race, but give it your best shot. We'll see. Best of luck.
Well, already, before the race has started, we've got problems with the McLaren team radio. Now, they're going to be rushing to try and get that problem fixed. It was a problem that plagued Lewis Hamilton at this same circuit not too many years ago. But now we're going to go out onto the grid, and Senna is really going to have to turn his attention somehow to the start of this race. He could be left without communications, but now he's got to turn his attention to these 5 red lights ahead of him. And we are revving up to the start of the Italian Grand Prix, and away we go. And Senna from 7th position after a poor qualifying yesterday gets another poor getaway as usual. And going down into turn 1, there are a couple of cars who've gone off the circuit already, and Senna's been passed by Hülkenberg, but going into turn 1, he's got a very, very good launch into the first turn. He's up into 6th and going to maybe try and get the cutback on Daniel Ricciardo, who's had a poor start. I believe he started in 4th position after a good qualifying yesterday. But now Senna is going to hang in that slipstream as we go through the famous Curva Grande corner, and towards the second chicane he's going to look round the outside of Ricciardo, and that's a lovely move past Bottas as well, and the Mercedes. What a start from the 3 times world champion Ayrton Senna. He's up into 3rd position, and it's just Felipe Massa and Lewis Hamilton. Sorry, Lewis Hamilton's behind him. It's Felipe Massa and Nico Rosberg who are in his way. Hamilton's had a poor start after not being able to out-qualify his teammate. So this championship battle at Mercedes looks as if it's swinging in the way of Nico Rosberg, at least in this race. But Senna is not going to be bothering about that. He is steaming past Felipe Massa, his fellow countryman, on lap 2. I couldn't think who he was breezing past then. He was going at such a rate of knots. But come lap 3, you can see that Senna has set a purple sector 1 and 2 by the track lighting up purple. But he's currently -1 lap on fuel. But he's not going to be too bothered about that at the moment, because he is closing and closing on Nico Rosberg. Of course, this is just Senna and the track, because he has got no team radio communications for this race. And as he goes past the pit straight, he's on to the DRS now. He certainly knows how to work that, and he's past Nico Rosberg for the lead of the Italian Grand Prix, breaking at the 150 metre board and getting it turned in beautifully as he sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. A 1:27 dead is what he does, and now this is going to be sort of a fuel saving stage of the race maybe, although now he's got Nico Rosberg right on his tail coming through the Curva Grande. The slipstream is so OP through there, but Senna looks as if he has managed to get it looks as if Senna has managed to get that move done, as I can't actually say any words. But anyway, we're on lap 6 now, and there is Nico Rosberg once again having a look at Senna as we go into turn 1. Hamilton's a further 2 seconds back, so this is very much a 2-horse race at the moment. Rosberg gets the move done, but it looks as if Senna was trying to get the switch back there. Maybe tyre wear is kicking in for the Brazilian. Obviously that Mercedes very good on its tyres, but as has been the case a lot of times this season, the McLaren a little bit heavier on its tyres. But that slipstream through Curva Grande once again worked in the favour of the Brazilian, getting up back into the lead of this Grand Prix on lap 6. And going quicker through that first sector as well. And this battle just seems to be going on lap after lap at the moment, and expected to continue throughout this race, as Rosberg now looking round the outside into turn 1, but Senna holding his ground as he gets a little bit of oversteer there. He's going to be looking to correct that as Rosberg gets a beautiful run out of turn 1. He set himself up nicely for that move, almost deceiving Senna into thinking that he was going to be making a move into turn 1. Senna maybe ran a bit deep, but Senna once again hooking it round the outside of Curva Grande. He just seems to have the pace in this Honda engine to be able to out-drag that Mercedes, and just, you know, generally being able to outpace it. But you can see the tyres on lap 8 are sort of giving up the ghost a little bit as Nico Rosberg once again looking around the outside. His teammate Lewis Hamilton is now caught up onto the battle as Rosberg takes the lead of the Grand Prix once again. It is a real ding-dong between the 3 drivers who are currently occupying the top 3 spots in the Drivers' Championship at this stage. But Hamilton's now looking for a slice of the action as Senna is catching Rosberg and Hamilton's catching Senna. This is now a 3-horse race for the lead of this Grand Prix. As Ryan Littlemore would say, it is a 3-way horse. But the recommended pit stop is being ignored by Senna, so obviously he's got no team radio. Maybe he's just ignoring that and sort of using his sixth sense as he breezes once again past Nico Rosberg. There is so much action in this Grand Prix. We're only on lap 9. We are only a third of the way through this Grand Prix, and already we have seen the position, the lead of this race switch pretty much every lap since lap 3 or 4. Or even as early as lap 2, in fact. But anyway, Ayrton Senna once again up into the lead of this Grand Prix as Rosberg still isn't done. Both of these drivers are keen to get the race victory. Expect them both to come in at the end of this lap as we now come through the famous Parabolica corner. Taking it in 4th gear, and Senna trying to get a good exit, and he does indeed dive into the pit lane along with Nico Rosberg. I think seeing as Hamilton came in the lap before, he was expecting Rosberg to come into the pit lane, and the McLaren pit crew do indeed get the call. I wouldn't be surprised if they were in fact in the pit lane on the last few laps, just expecting Senna to come in whenever, because obviously, you know, that without the team radio, that communication between driver and pit lane is just completely lost. But nonetheless, Nevertheless, it was a pretty slick stop from the McLaren guys. Fuel saving is also going to be vital because he's not going to have any information. Luckily, he has got that LED screen, which should tell him his fuel consumption. And Senna is easily into the lead of this Grand Prix with Felipe Massa into P2. He's having a cracking race in the Williams, and Massa is now having a look around the outside. But I do believe that Felipe Massa and both of the Williams guys are indeed on a 3-stop strategy. Senna doesn't know this though, so he's going to be fighting so much to keep up with his fellow Brazilian. And you can see he's knocking it up into rich mix because he does not want Felipe getting away whatsoever. And lap 12 now, Senna just sort of hovering around that 1 second gap. But Massa does indeed dive into the pit lane. Senna may be a little bit confused as to what's going on with that Williams strategy. It is very strange, but skipping all the way onto lap 17 now, not a lot happened at this stage in the Grand Prix. Built up around a 2.5 second lead over Lewis Hamilton, and come lap 18 that gap is up to 3.2 seconds, so Senna is really just in the groove. He's concentrating 110% at this point in the race. And lap 20 has come, and look at those tyres, they're not really that worn at all. And there's only 7 laps remaining in this Grand Prix, which is what's making that that Williams pit call so bizarre. You know, the 3-stop strategy around here really is quite baffling. But Senna is going on a quick 7-lap dash to the end. The McLaren guys have decided to fit the option tyre. So we have got 7 laps of pure action to the end of this Grand Prix. It could get very, very tasty. The question is, where is he going to come out in relation to Hamilton and Rosberg? I think he should have got the jump on both of them. And Senna is into the lead of this Grand Prix. And, well, like I say, 7 laps remaining, and now we're skipping on to the start of lap 23, and Lewis Hamilton is caught up to the back of Senna, who is struggling for pace in the back end of this race. Hamilton is really on it at this stage, and with just 4 laps remaining, Lewis takes the lead of the Grand Prix, and now going through Curva Grande. This is where Senna is going to have to rely on that slipstream. I believe he is only in standard fuel mix, but he is still just trying to gain as much as possible. But I believe that Hamilton has just got enough to be able to get away from the Brazilian. And, Hamilton gets run over the curbs there. And that couldn't have been any good for his exit. And skipping onto the DRS zone on lap 23. Senna going to look around the outside of Hamilton, who's on the prime tyres. So won't be as fast sort of in the traction zones at least. And Senna is trying to take advantage of that. And now come the end of lap 24, it looks as if Senna has sort of restored business as usual, and he's just sort of stretching his legs at the moment. Sets the fastest lap, and now skipping all the way onto lap 27, Ayrton Senna has held it all together and is going to come round the final corner to take his 2nd victory of the season. Oh baby, it's victory in Monza, and he is going to be absolutely ecstatic. Ayrton Senna wins the Italian Grand Prix. Nico Rosberg, his rival, is down in 3rd with Lewis Hamilton in 2nd. Jenson Button's had a poor race for McLaren. He's down in 20th. I believe it was a DNF as well. There you can see the race classification. Daniel Ricciardo, Felipe Massa and Valtteri Bottas make up the rest of the top 6 with Fernando Alonso going up to P7 after starting from last position. All that means for the Drivers' Championship is that Senna remains in P3, but he's just 23 points off the lead of the championship, where Lewis Hamilton is currently lying. And there you can see that McLaren putting up a decent fight in P2 in the championship. Looks as if Mercedes are out of sight, but what an Italian Grand Prix that was, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, then make sure to leave a like. I tell you what, if you've lasted 13 minutes of this, then you couldn't have thought it was a half-bad race. But join me next time where I'll be in Russia. If we get 130 likes, I'll bring out the Russian Grand Prix. But once again, thanks a lot for sticking around, guys. And thanks a lot for the support on this series. And I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.